So now we're going to send our members a communication. To do this, we're going to select communication and then list in the menu. So we can see here we have some draft emails that we've created, one scheduled email we have ready to go out, and some sent past emails below as well. So to create a new email, we're going to click New at the top, and we're going to enter our campaign name. In most cases, it's easiest if this is the same as the subject, but you can use this if you want to determine this email with an internal system as well. So next we want to include our body. I personally prefer to draft my emails in Word and then drop them in, but this is up to you. You can write directly into this box as well. So I'm going to first separate this out with some spacing so it's a little bit clearer and easier to read. And then I'm going to use some of these tools here to make this email look a little bit better and easier to follow. So I'm going to bold and italicize some of these headings. I'm going to make this here a list using the numbering. I've mentioned Facebook in here, so what I want to do now is make that a hyperlink. So I'll grab the URL from Facebook and highlight that text and use the link button here to include that as a hyperlink. So now we can see that's linked there, so our members will be able to click directly on that to find the event page. I'm going to include a little smiley face. You do have the option of editing the font size, color, background color of this email. But I'm going to leave this a little bit plain today in the interest of saving time. The one last thing I will do is insert a picture. So you have the option to drop an image in here, but first we need to grab the URL for that. So I'm going to save this email by selecting Next. This takes us to the recipient page, which we'll go through in more detail shortly. But I need first to find the file. And I need the URL for this. So what I'm going to do is select this hyperlink and copy the URL at the top in the URL bar. I'll navigate now back to the email that I've drafted. And we can see that waiting here. And I'll edit that there. So now we can select this image box here and paste that URL that we copied. We'll save that in there now, and we can see that that is quite nicely sized. If you need to edit that image, you can do so by right-clicking and selecting Image Properties. And then you have the option to adjust the width and height. I'm pretty happy, so I'm going to leave it as is for now, but you can play around with entering numbers in those boxes to edit the size of your image. And I'll hit OK. So I'm really happy with how this looks now. So I'm going to select Next. And now I have the option to choose my recipients for this email. So you can include people based on their membership status. In this email, I only want to include current members. You also have the option of sending an email to, or sending a communication to your past membership group. So if you show expired, we can see our 2019 membership group there. This is really handy if you wanted to send past members an email to remind them to renew their membership for the new year and so on. This event is only for current members, so I'm going to select my 2020 membership group, and we can see that adjusts the total projected recipients to 4. I'm going to then select Next. This takes us to the preview page where we have the option to send ourselves a test email before we send this out to the greater public. This is optional and you don't have to do it. To do it, you just type out your email address and then select Send Email. But I'm going to skip on that today. So we'll select Next again. And we have here the option to either send this message now or later, so you can schedule it for a future date or time if you're particularly organised, or you can select to send that now. I'm going to send that now by hitting the send button. It takes us to a status page, which lets us know this email is sending, and we can see that that's gone out now. You can open the URL to see that information about the campaign. And we can see it was sent out to 4 people. It's been sent, the date and time that it was sent, and that's been successful. So we'll navigate back to list, and we can see that that's now been sent there. If we were instead to schedule this email, it would appear like this until the time the email was scheduled to send. And then it would switch to this date, timestamp, and sent status. So that's how we send a communication. One other handy thing that we have in here is the opportunity to clone an email. This is really handy if you want to resend this email, to send it out to people maybe a second time or closer to the event date or so on. You would just clone that email and then go through the process, clicking next and getting, selecting your members and previewing and sending again. So yeah, that's how we use the communication function in the website.